ये आकाशवाणी है। अब आप कनकलता से समाचार सुनिए। हैदराबाद के दिशा दुष्कर्म और हत्या मामले के चारों आरोपी आज तड़के मारे गए। साइबराबाद के पुलिस आयुक्त सज्जनार ने चारों आरोपियों के मुठभेड़ में मारे जाने की पुष्टि की है। खबरों में बताया गया है कि अपराध की छानबीन के लिए पुलिस चारों आरोपियों को घटनास्थल पर ले गई थी, जहां आरोपियों ने भागने की कोशिश की। बार बार चेतावनी के बावजूद जब आरोपी नहीं रुके तो पुलिस को गोली चलानी पड़ी। उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ ने राज्य पुलिस से उन्नाव दुष्कर्म पीड़िता को जलाए जाने के मामले में दोषियों के खिलाफ सख्त कार्रवाई करने को कहा है। इस मामले की जांच के लिए विशेष दल बनाया गया है। दुष्कर्म पीड़िता को कल रात विमान से दिल्ली लाया गया ताकि उसे बेहतर उपचार मिल सके। उसे जलाने के आरोपी सभी 5 अभियुक्तों को पुलिस ने गिरफ्तार कर लिया है। केंद्रीय गृह मंत्रालय ने देश भर के थानों में महिला हेल्प डेस्क बनाने के लिए निर्भया कोष से 100 करोड़ रुपए मंजूर किए हैं। एक आधिकारिक विज्ञप्ति में कहा गया है कि महिला हेल्प डेस्क थानों को महिलाओं के लिए और अधिक सहायक तथा सुगम बनाने पर केंद्रित होगा और पुलिस चौकी पहुंचने वाली किसी महिला के लिए प्रथम और एकल संपर्क केंद्र होगा। इन सहायता डेस्कों पर अनिवार्य रूप से महिला पुलिस अधिकारी की तैनाती की जाएगी। बम्बई उच्च न्यायालय ने पंजाब एंड महाराष्ट्र कोऑपरेटिव पीएमसी बैंक पर नकदी निकालने पर प्रतिबंध हटाने के बारे में दायर याचिका खारिज कर दी है। न्यायालय ने कहा कि याचिका में भारतीय रिजर्व बैंक पर लगाए गए आरोप निराधार हैं। न्यायमूर्ति एस.सी. धर्माधिकारी और आर.आई. छागला की पीठ ने कहा कि उन्हें लगता है कि रिजर्व बैंक ने उचित कार्रवाई की है और किसी प्रकार का भेदभाव नहीं किया। पीएमसी बैंक के प्रत्येक खाताधारक को शुरू में केवल 1,000 रुपए निकालने की अनुमति थी, जो बढ़ाकर 50,000 रुपए कर दी गई है। झारखंड में विधानसभा चुनाव के तीसरे और चौथे चरण के लिए प्रचार तेज हो गया है। तीसरे चरण में 12 दिसंबर को 8 जिलों के 17 निर्वाचन क्षेत्रों में वोट डाले जाएंगे। चौथे चरण में 4 जिलों की 15 विधानसभा सीटों पर 16 दिसंबर को मतदान होगा। विभिन्न राजनीतिक दलों के दिग्गज प्रचारक अपने अपने उम्मीदवारों के समर्थन में जनसभाएं और चुनावी रैलियां कर रहे हैं। 5वें और अंतिम चरण के लिए नाम वापस लेने का आज आखिरी दिन है। 5वें चरण में 20 दिसंबर को 6 जिलों में 16 सीटों पर मतदान होगा और वोटों की गिनती 23 दिसंबर को कराई जाएगी। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने कहा है कि बेहतर भविष्य और दिशा के लिए वार्ता देश के विकास में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाती है। नई दिल्ली में हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स लीडरशिप समिट में प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा कि सरकार दशकों से लंबित परियोजनाओं के कार्यान्वयन की दिशा में काम कर रही है। उन्होंने कहा कि लोगों ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को फिर से सत्ता सौंपी है। पार्टी की विचारधारा है सबका साथ, सबका विकास और सबका विश्वास। श्री मोदी ने कहा कि संविधान के अनुच्छेद 370 को निष्प्रभावी बनाना राजनीतिक रूप से मुश्किल भरा काम रहा है, लेकिन सरकार के कदम से जम्मू कश्मीर और लद्दाख में विकास के एक नए युग की शुरुआत हुई। राष्ट्र आज डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर के महापरिनिर्वाण दिवस पर उन्हें श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित कर रहा है। सामाजिक न्याय और अधिकारिता मंत्रालय ने आज संसद भवन में पुष्पांजलि कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया है। राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद ने आज सुबह संसद भवन परिसर में डॉक्टर आम्बेडकर की प्रतिमा पर श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित किए। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने भी उनकी प्रतिमा पर पुष्पांजलि अर्पित की। लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला, पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह, सामाजिक न्याय तथा अधिकारिता मंत्री थावरचंद गहलोत, संसदीय कार्य मंत्री प्रहलाद जोशी और सांसदों ने भी श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित किए। इसके अलावा सैकड़ों लोग भी बाबा साहिब को पुष्पांजलि अर्पित कर रहे हैं। उपराष्ट्रपति एम वेंकैया नायडू ने ट्विटर पर कहा कि लोगों को डॉक्टर आम्बेडकर के विजन और शिक्षाओं से प्रेरणा लेनी चाहिए। उन्होंने कहा कि आज बाबा साहिब को अर्पित किए जाने वाले श्रद्धा सुमन तभी सार्थक होंगे जब लोग उनके आदर्शों पर चलें और सार्वजनिक जीवन में बाबा साहिब के जीवन मूल्य तथा नैतिकता का अनुकरण करें। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने ट्विटर पर कहा कि बाबा साहिब ने अपना जीवन सामाजिक न्याय के लिए समर्पित कर दिया था। उन्होंने कहा कि संविधान के रूप में देश को अनूठा उपहार दिया, जो भारतीय लोकतंत्र का आधार स्तंभ है। इसके साथ ही ये समाचार बुलेटिन समाप्त हुआ।
You news from across the globe. I'm Paul Thottam. First, the headlines. Army Chief General Bipin Rawat meets Chief of Staff of Japan Self-Defense Forces Joint Staff and Defense Minister, discusses issue of mutual interest. Maldives President Ibrahim Mohammed Solih has said his government accords the highest priority to its relationship with India. White House condemns Democratic Party's move to impeach President Donald Trump after House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi orders drafting of impeachment articles against President Trump. And at the 13th South Asian Games in Nepal, India's medal rush continues. It tops the tally with 127 medals comprising 62 golds. Army Chief General Bipin Rawat met Japan Self-Defense Forces JSDF Joint Staff Chief of Staff General Koji Yamazaki and Defense Minister Taro Kono and discussed issues of mutual interest. The Army Chief is on a 4-day visit to Japan since Tuesday. His visit to Japan aims to give impetus to the defense ties and outlines the growing importance of India-Japan relationship. Rawat will also visit niche field formations and interact with troops of Japan Ground Staff Self-Defense Force who had recently participated in the bilateral exercise Dharma Guardian at Verinde, Mizoram. The Army Chief's visit comes soon after India and Japan concluded their inaugural 2+2 ministerial meeting. The Army Chief's visit also holds significance as Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is scheduled to visit India later this month. Maldives President Ibrahim Mohammed Solih is said his government accords the highest priority to its relationship with India. President Solih made the remarks speaking at the video conference with Prime Minister Narendra Modi last evening to mark the launch of 4 developmental projects in Maldives with Indian assistance. Highlighting the age-old ties between the two countries, Mr. Solih said the essence of renewed commitment to further strengthening bilateral economic and cultural ties is the strong political will of both governments. President Solih stated that the in-show patrol vessels CJS Kamiyab, gifted by the Indian government, would become a valuable asset in the Coast Guard's ability to protect the maritime borders and respond quickly to any situation that arises in the Indian Ocean region. Speaking about the acceptance of RuPay card in Maldives, the President expressed his confidence that it would help in the growth of the number of Indian tourists visiting the Maldives. He further highlighted that both countries agree on the urgent need to address the global threat posed by climate change. He noted that the installation of LED street lamps gifted by the Indian government to Malé City would contribute in a big way towards the efforts made by the Maldivian president. Paris police arrested 71 protesters in the French capital as tens of thousands marched against the planned pension reform. The city's prefecture said the nationwide strike is the largest protest to hit France since Emmanuel Macron was elected president more than 2 years ago. The French government has proposed to replace a generous pension system with a points-based scheme angering railroad employees, teachers, police and other public workers. Measles infected nearly 10 million people in 2018 and killed 140,000, mostly children, as devastating outbreaks of the viral disease hit every region of the world, said the World Health Organization. In figures described by its Director General as an outrage, the WHO said most of last year's measles deaths were in children under 5 years old who had not been vaccinated. The picture for 2019 is even worse. The WHO said, with provisional data up to November showing a 3-fold increase compared with the same period in 2018. The United States has already reported its highest number of measles cases in 25 years in 2019, while 4 countries in Europe, Albania, the Czech Republic, Greece and Britain lost their WHO measles-free status in 2018. Saudi Aramco's initial public offering (IPO) is set to be the world's largest, raising 25.6 billion USD by selling shares in its joint state-owned oil monopoly, the company confirmed. 3 billion shares at a price of 32 riyals per share is being considered as the highest for a stock market debut. The listing was oversubscribed. Saudi Aramco is the world's most profitable company. A briefing note on the company's IPO published by Camco Research yesterday said that Aramco generates more net income than the sum of the next 7 largest players in the industry. It said this gives the company a market-leading position that also results in higher margins. In Mauritania, at least 62 migrants traveling on a makeshift boat drowned off the coast. 83 survivors managed to swim to shore after their boat, which was heading for Spain's Canary Islands, capsized after hitting a rock. An original death toll of 58 given by the International Organization for Migration rose to at least 62 yesterday, as several dead bodies washed ashore during the day. Mauritania's Interior Ministry said in a statement that the migrants were mostly clandestine immigrants trying to reach Spain, coming from Banjul in Gambia. He said the vessel was carrying between 150 and 180 people. Most of the passengers were between the age group of 20 and 30. Attempts to reach the Canary Islands from West African countries has increased in recent years as authorities have clamped down on crossings in Europe from Libya. Russian Energy Minister Alexander Novak has said OPEC Plus countries will discuss the allocation of quotas on reduction of oil production during a ministerial meeting in Vienna. Talking to reporters, the minister declined to comment on possible scenarios. OPEC Plus has been reducing oil production since 2017 to counter oversupply on the global market caused by a recent boom in oil output in the United States. The current version of the OPEC Plus oil output cut deal, which will be in force until March 2020, expects parties to reduce overall oil output by 1.2 million barrels per day compared to October 2018 levels. The Supreme Court of Bangladesh witnessed ruckus by a section of lawyers allegedly owing allegiance to the opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party BNP. The ruckus started when the medical board treating former Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia, who is serving a jail term, failed to submit the health report yesterday, and the court granted it time till December 12th to submit the report. The lawyers started raising slogans demanding early hearing of the case. Earlier, the appellate division of the Supreme Court had asked the government on the 28th of November to submit the health report of Begum Khalida Zia on the 5th of December to decide on her bail application. Chief Justice Syed Mahmood Hussain termed the chaos at the courtroom by a group of lawyers as unprecedented. Reacting to the incident in the Apex Court, Law Minister Anisul Haq warned that those responsible for today's event will face legal action. Speaking to media persons, he said that the incident shows that BNP has no respect for the highest constitutional institutions of Bangladesh. However, the BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir said that the health status report of Begum Khalida Zia was deliberately delayed under pressure from the government. BNP has been demanding bail for Begum Khalida Zia on health ground. It maintains that the cases against her are politically motivated. Khalida Zia has been in prison since February last year, serving a total of 17 years in jail in the Zia Orphanage and Zia Charitable Trust corruption cases. This is All India Radio, giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com and our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You are listening to our program Prime Meridian, where we bring you news from across the globe. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more updates from across the world. The White House has condemned the Democratic Party move to impeach President Donald Trump. The White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham said in a statement yesterday that the move is a blatant and partisan action to overturn the results of a free and fair elections. She said they look forward to a fair trial in the Senate. She was speaking immediately after Mrs. Pelosi's remarks that House of Representatives will file impeachment charges against US President Donald Trump for alleged abuse of power. Earlier, Trump slammed the Democrats for their latest announcement on impeachment. Trump denied the allegation, saying he did not do no wrong. Meanwhile, the House Judiciary Committee in a notice said yesterday the two congressional committees that have been holding the impeachment investigations will hear presentations on the next steps of the process on Monday. An impeachment vote might take place in the House of Representatives before the end of the year and a trial in the Senate perhaps as early as January 2020. Only two US presidents in history, Bill Clinton and Andrew Johnson, have been impeached, but neither was convicted. Australian bushfires have caused unprecedented pollution in Sydney and along the country's east coast. Smoke and dust is burning residents' eyes and prompting a spike in respiratory claimants. Hundreds of bushfires have burnt out of control since September up and down the eastern seaboard, blanketing cities from Sydney to Brisbane in smoke for weeks on end. The New South Wales Department of Environment made clear on Thursday the extent of the crisis. It declared bushfires and dust had caused some of the highest air pollution ever seen in Australia. A spokesperson said the region has experienced other periods of poor air quality that lasted several weeks, including the 1994 Sydney bushfire and the Black Christmas bushfires of December 2001, January 2002. A study has found out that many birds are shrinking in size while their wingspans are increasing as the climate warms. Researchers from the University of Michigan in the US analyzed a data set of 70,000 North American migratory birds from 52 species that died when they collided with buildings in Chicago, US. They found that from 1978 through 2016, body size decreased in all 52 species, with statistically significant declines in 49 species. A report.
The findings published in the journal Ecology Letters also show that wing length increased significantly in 40 species over the same period. Brian Weeks, an assistant professor at the University of Michigan, said the new study is the largest specimen-based analysis of body size responses to recent warming. He added, the study shows the most consistent large-scale responses for a diverse group of birds. According to researchers, several lines of evidence suggest a causal relationship between warming temperatures and the observed declines in avian body size. The researchers said the strongest evidence is that within the long-term trends of declining body size and increasing temperature, there are numerous short-term fluctuations in body size and temperature that appear to be synchronized. The researchers added, within animal species, individuals tend to be smaller in warmer parts of their range, a pattern known as Bergman's rule. For each bird, the researchers measured the length of a lower leg bone called the tarsus, wing length, and the body mass. In birds, tarsus length is considered the most precise single measure of within species variation in the body size. Natasha Karnani for AIR News.
Species with the fastest declines in tarsus length also showed the most rapid gains in wing length. The researcher noted that body size decreased significantly as temperatures warmed. In Sri Lanka, leader of the United National Party (UNP) and former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has decided to appoint Sajith Premadasa as the leader of the opposition in Parliament. The decision was taken at the party's parliamentary group meeting held yesterday. Mr. Premadasa contested the presidential election last month and lost to the incumbent President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Earlier, UNP had decided to appoint Mr. Ranil as the opposition leader, which was opposed by Mr. Sajid's supporters. They are also demanding to make him the party leader, but the issue has remained unresolved. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alert. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com and our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You are listening to our program International News, where we bring you news from across the globe. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more updates from across the world. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has invited Indian companies for investment in the country. In a message, he called upon India and China to place their trust and invest in Sri Lanka's future while respecting its sovereignty. Sri Lankan President, since taking over last month, has been calling upon global powers, including India, Japan and Australia, to bring investments and not to allow them to be dependent on China only. Mr. Gotabaya visited India on his first overseas trip last week, where a fresh line of credit of $450 million was announced. Sri Lanka was considered close to China during the regime of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Elder brother Gotabaya and there are concerted efforts to change the impression under the current regime. Mr. Rajapaksa said in an interview that they will try to renegotiate the Hambantota port deal with China, which was given to a Chinese company on a 99-year lease. Maldives Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid reached Colombo on Wednesday night on a 3-day visit to Sri Lanka to have talks with the new government. In a message before his departure, he said, Maldives-Sri Lankan friendship and cooperation dates back centuries, and he looks forward to productive meetings to further consolidate excellent relationships between the two countries. Colombo has a big Maldivian diaspora considered second only to Mali. Sri Lanka and Maldives have agreed to strengthen bilateral and regional cooperation so that drug menace and radicalization of youth could be managed to the extent possible. This was agreed to during meeting the visiting Maldivian Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid and Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Both the leaders agreed that the Indian Ocean must remain free and open for all nations for their economic upliftment. President Rajapaksa said it was Sri Lanka that proposed the Indian Ocean be declared as a zone of peace in early 70s. Maldivian minister highlighted the importance of improving people-to-people relations between the two countries. The U.S. Justice Department unveiled indictments of 2 Russians with ties to their country's intelligence services, who ran a major global cyber theft operation under the name Evil Corp. An indictment unsealed in Pittsburgh named Maxim Yakubets and Igor Turushev has the main figures in a group which inserted malware on computers in dozens of countries to steal more than $100 million from companies and local authorities. Officials said more than 300 organizations in 43 countries have been hit by the malware, and many more individuals, and that the group continued to operate. In Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky said the 14 people remain missing from a fire that claimed a student's life in the country's southern port city of Odessa. The fire broke out in a college building in central Odessa on Wednesday, killing a 16-year-old female student and injuring 27 others. The blaze had been contained by yesterday morning, but dozens of firefighters were still combing through the partly destroyed walls of the 6-story building. 7 firefighters were among the injured and 5 people were in a serious condition. The authorities have opened a probe into the blaze. The U.S. President Donald Trump has urged the United Nations Security Council members to address shared security threats and promote religious liberty across the globe. A report.
In his luncheon meeting with the permanent representatives of the UN Security Council, he said nations face a range of shared security threats including terrorism, drug trafficking, illegal migration, cyber attack and the spread of nuclear, chemical and biological weapons. He said the Council must take action to confront these and other dangers facing the world, including the behavior of Iranian regime, which has killed hundreds and hundreds of protesters in a very short period of time. Terming the situation in Iran as horrible, Trump urged the media to get involved by going there and seeing what's happening. He said America will always stand by Iranian people in their righteous struggle for freedom and added that the Iranian situation could be fixed very quickly and very easily. Trump also called Security Council members to join the United States in their vital efforts to promote religious liberty around the globe. Natasha Karnani for AIR News.
The US holds the monthly rotating presidency of the UN Security Council for December. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com and our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You are listening to our program International News, where we bring you news from across the globe. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more updates from across the world. Bosnia has taken full control of its airspace from yesterday for the first time ever after its 1990s war of independence led for a period of oversight by international peace forces. Control over its airspace was maintained by NATO-led peace forces from 1995 until 2003, when it was transferred to neighboring Serbia and Croatia, while Bosnia built up and modernized its own system. Bosnia took control of airspace below 10,000 meters, that is 33,000 feet, in 2014, following a 10-year project to establish its own air navigation management system and after the training of some 400 staff. In cricket, India will take on the West Indies in the first T20 International at the Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium in Hyderabad today. Team India are scheduled to play 3 T20s and as many ODIs against the West Indies in a month-long tour for the visitors. The match will start at 7 p.m. IST. A study commissioned by 14 seafaring nations predicts that unchecked climate change could devastate fishery industries and coral reef tourism, causing loss of hundreds of billions of dollars by 2050. The report, to be published today on the sidelines of a UN climate summit in Madrid, says limiting global warming would lessen the economic impact for coastal countries, but they also need to adapt to ocean changes. The authors say fish will migrate to cooler waters as oceans heat up and become more acidic, jeopardizing some fishing communities. While regions near the equator will suffer fish stock declines, the report forecasts increase in Arctic and Antarctic oceans. Reef tourism is also likely to suffer as corals will die off largely, wiping out a multi-million billion dollar industry in several countries by the end of the century. And in sports, Indian athletes have secured medals in several disciplines, taking India's medal tally to 124. A report from our correspondent from Kathmandu on the outstanding performance of the Indian athletes in the South Asian Games.
Indian athletes dominated in most of the events on Thursday and grabbed 54 medals, including 28 gold. On the last day of Wushu and Taekwondo, India clinched 12 gold, 3 silver and equal numbers of bronze. In swimming and weightlifting, Indian players made brilliant start and won 8 gold, 6 silver and 1 bronze. Shooters were also not far behind. They won all 4 events of the day and grabbed 4 gold, 2 silver and 1 bronze. In athletics, India bagged 1 gold, 4 silver and 2 bronze. Indian shuttlers continued their dominance and reached the finals of women's and men's singles and men's doubles. All the finals will be played this afternoon. Rajkumar, AIR News, Kathmandu.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Army Chief General Bipin Rawat meets Chief of Staff of Japan's Self-Defense Forces, Joint Staff and Defense Minister discusses issue of mutual interest. Maldives President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih has said his government accords the highest priority to its relationship with India. White House condemns Democratic Party's move to impeach President Donald Trump after House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi orders drafting of impeachment articles against President Trump. And at the 13th South Asian Games in Nepal, India's medal rush continues. It tops the tally with 124 medals comprising 62 golds. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more updates from across the world. And for quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com and our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official.